Hey there, everybody. Pete Pardo here from Sea Tranquility. 2021 is not really starting off on a good foot when it comes to losing musicians that we all admire and follow and in many cases idolize. So here we are, January 4th, 2021, and we have lost a great guitar player and frontman, Alexi Laiho from Children of Bodom. Okay, age 41, way too young to leave this world. Okay, so Alexi and the band Children of Bodom, of course, they've been around since the late 90s. Finnish band. Alexi himself born April 8th, 1979 in Espoo, Finland. Okay, Children of Bodom became a pretty big deal around the world. Okay, especially like in the late 90s and the early mid 2000s here in the U.S. I can't tell you how many times I got to see Children of Bodom live on just about every metal tour that was coming through. They were on the bill. Whether, I saw them headline numerous times, but mostly in the direct support slot to the headliner. I saw them open up for Iced Earth and Megadeth and countless other bands. Very entertaining group and a really good talent. So Alexi, leaves us at the age of 41. If you're not familiar with the music of Children of Bodom, they debuted back in 1997 with their first album, Something Wild, kind of like a mix of black metal, power metal, and neoclassical progressive metal with hints of death metal, if that makes any sense at all. They kind of had a style all their own. They really didn't sound like anybody else, and they were very hard to kind of pigeonhole in a style because they had the kind of raspy vocals that were very prevalent in the black metal scene. Their music, a lot of it, the intensity of it rivaled like melodic death metal acts like from the Swedish scene. But yet they had plenty of attributes that were well known in both power metal and progressive metal. And Alexi was a very talented guitar player who could do the neoclassical shredding. All right, he had a really well-versed understanding of heavy metal in general. And I think that's one of the reasons why Children of Bodom had so much variety to their music and were so hard to categorize, because they added elements from so many different subgenres of heavy metal. They followed that album up with Hatebreeder in 1999. Follow the Reaper was probably their album that really got them noticed on an international kind of perspective. And then, of course, Hate Crew Death Roll was their big break here in the States. By this time, their music is getting a little bit more accessible. Still very extreme, very angry, very heavy. Lots of shredding guitar solos and big riffs and the gravelly vocals. But, they morphed their music into more of a friendlier sound for the masses to an extent. Right? And then Are You Dead Yet came followed up in 2005. You got Blood Drunk in 2008, Relentless Reckless Forever in 2011, Halo of Blood 2013, I Worship Chaos in 2015. The last album we saw from them was in 2019 called Hexed. At that point, the band kind of were sort of non-existent, taking a little bit of a break. All right, whether that would have been for forever or not, we don't really know. Obviously, we're not going to know at this point. But Alexi was the driving force in the band and a very talented guitar player. I like I said, I saw them numerous times, and he was always up there with his ESP Flying V guitar. The guy could really play. He not only was he a great guitar player, but he was a really good frontman. He just, very energetic, and, say what you want about the style of vocals that he sang. I know there's some people probably going to be watching or don't like the extreme vocals. But he was very good at what he did. Dynamic frontman, every show gave it his all, running all over the stage, up there with with the rest of the band, just really lots of energy. He was a really good frontman, and he was able to, just really crank out the riffs and play those solos. And they just turned Children of Bodom. He really made them a pretty successful band that a lot of people really dug, myself included. And, for me, I think their music became kind of a little bit sort of formulaic the last couple of albums, but still always a really great live band. And, it's funny because they have not disclosed the cause of death as of yet. They mentioned that he had been ill for a while, at age 41. The only thing I can say Again, I don't know anything, behind the scenes, what was going on, but I interviewed, excuse me, I interviewed Alexi probably, I don't know, maybe 15 years ago. And it was like, the interview was like early mid-afternoon my time. And I think him and the band were in LA, and that's where he was doing like the interviews, and they were playing some shows and stuff. And I rang his phone at like I said, it was like 2 or 3 o'clock my time on the East Coast. And, he answered, and, guy's like full of life, energetic, big and loud, and just, but he, right off the bat, he told me, he goes, "Hey man, what's going on? Great to talk to you. Just want to let you know, I've been out partying all night, and I only just got in a couple hours ago, so I'm just going to continue the party." And, and I'm like, okay, great. And, you think, when he died, he was 41, so that was 15 years ago, so he's in his mid-late 20s, right? What were we all doing at that time, right? He's playing in a band, fairly notable band, out on tour. But, you read lots of stories and heard lots of things over the years about, how much Alexi loved to party. I mean, he probably, Alexi Laiho probably, when you really get down to it, probably it's like he came from a different time. He would have fit in so well like in the late 60s and the early 70s. He was the epitome of a rock star. He lived the life. He loved to party, loved to play music, and he lived every day to the fullest. And again, I don't want to speculate because I don't know, how he died, but you have to wonder, because like I said, saw them many times live. No doubt he was doing his share of having a good time before the show, because that's what he was all about. He loved life, and loved his alcohol, and just loved to just have a great time. And it's a shame. It's funny because with that time I talked to him, my impression was like, wow, this guy is living life to the extreme. I hope he can live a long life, right? And as we see, that wasn't meant to be. But regardless of how it was, he died. It's just a shame, because very, very talented guitar player, really, really talented guitar player, and a really cool band that has a handful of really, really classic genre albums to their credit. Whether you want to call them melodic death metal, or blackened death metal, or blackened death power prog metal, whatever. A really cool band, a very unique band, and he's going to be missed. He's going to be missed because, you always, guys like this, one of the things about him that I always wondered, it's like, he had all of the tools and all the skills if he wanted to do like a, kind of like more of like a guitar-based type of project, right? You always wonder what guys like this, who the kind of real virtuosos, the shreddy guys who are in a band like that, where they get to show their skills quite a bit. But you always wondered, I was always like saying to myself, how cool would it be to hear Alexi do like kind of like a Satriani or Revive instrumental solo album or something like that, where we can just hear him play, just that. And we never really got that. Which is kind of a shame, but he's going to be missed. Very, very talented player. And 41, guys, way too young to die. Way too young to die. I mean, I know back, like I mentioned before, like in the 60s and 70s, we would lose a lot of our rock stars, even younger than that, because they lived that hard life and just, they were never destined to live really long. And whether, time will tell once we find out more information, whether Alexi was, kind of fell into that category, or whether it's just, maybe something really bad happened to him and we don't know. That could be too. But he entertained a lot of people. Like I said, I saw them live, 8 times, close to 10. Over the span of, 8-10 years. I mean, they were playing here all the time, and always really good live, and a real entertainer. And that's what it's all about, right? That's what it's all about. And so, Alexi Laiho leaves us at age 41, died in Helsinki, Finland, and we're going to miss him. So, this iced tea is to you, my friend. Sorry, I don't have anything stronger in here. It's a little early in the morning, but Hope you're up there jamming with all the greats, and your music will live on forever. So visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter. Of course, we're here on the mighty YouTube all the damn time. So rest in peace, Alexi Laiho from Children of Bodom, dies at the age of 41. God bless. We'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.